What's going on, guys? Boy Maximum RPM coming at you with another video today. And in this video, I will be showing off my genius of the perfect defense type. That's right, I am a self-proclaimed genius. So, this is an evolution of one of my previous Beyblades. As you guys know, I obviously make 3D printed Beyblades. And I love doing evolutions of my previous projects. And this project has been going for a long time without any updates. And it's always been one of my favorites. This is Valcor. It is a dual spin defense type. And it uses the Hasbro, 2D. And the Atomic Sling Shock. So this is a very good defense type because it has these sloped edges, so when it gets attacked by a bay, it drives it down into the flat spot. Now, it has one weakness. Smash attacks, if it's a weak smash attack from something like a balance or a slow-moving attack type, it typically can take the hit pretty well by either redirecting it or by using its diamond-shaped attack points to just kind of push the attack back. However, big smash attacks and uppercut attacks are what it's weak to. Because of its tapered design, it naturally gets forced up. So if an uppercut style bay hits it, there's a lot of leverage against it and it gets thrown around. Not to mention, because of its shape, as it slows down towards the end of the match, it's easier to push over. And if it's a really big smash attack, it works against it. Now, the reason that this is now the perfect defense type is because I have fixed, in theory, both of those problems. And it is still a dual spin defense type, but it's also using a new system. Last was efficiency. This is interlock, which I find is the best system to make 3D printed Beyblades out of. And I made my own custom disc called Power. So, this is the new Valcor. Also, I'm testing for the first time this Polymaker Orange for durability. Or wait, no, I'm not. I've used it a little bit. Not much, but. And it's on 0. This is my own custom disc called Power. And Hasbro Mobius. And there's a reason for this. Actually, there's a couple reasons. But I've used this technique in the past before. This is my bay North Cross. And it has a very similar design. It's meant to trap the attack. Whether it gets hit from below or head on, it funnels it in. Now, the new Valcor can literally swallow an entire layer. And let me show you how this gimmick works. So with our original Valcor, if it took a really big smash attack head on, it was right even with the top of the layer. And if it took a really big uppercut, it wasn't being deflected at all. It really had to be kind of at that sweet spot. In a bay like North Cross, it's at the perfect level to guide it directly into the center. However, if you get a really low uppercut, it completely misses the attack. And the reason that I went with Hasbro Mobius is because it's tall. I could have easily done this same technique with something like Bearing, or even like Atomic or Atomic Sling Shock. But the issue is, Power is very low. It's very low slung frame. So if it were way low to the ground, even if it were the same height as Sting, when it'd get hit, it would scrape out. But as you can see here, Excalibur is a lot shorter than it. So all of its attacks are going to get either met or funneled in. From you would have to literally be just about touching the floor to get underneath this thing, and it's definitely possible. But for a standard uppercut attack, it's going to hit it and get guided right into the middle. And with these jagged edges and the disc, which they can kind of come in contact with, it's really funneling it. Now, I'm not saying that it's impervious to uppercuts, but an uppercut should get fed in, and a smash attack should also get fed in. Plus, with it having a wide base, should be able to take a big attack and take it pretty decent. And I kind of got this idea from one of my channel members, or not, I shouldn't say channel members, I don't actually have members, but one of my Discord members, and their bae Zoga. And I'm forgetting how to pronounce their username, but they used Mobius, and they used it for attack and stamina. I am basically taking this and completely swapping it around. I want this thing to be slightly mobile so I can hopefully avoid some attacks. But all of this theory doesn't do any good until we put it into testing. Now, I will say I did originally want to taper power, and I did taper it, but I didn't taper it a whole lot. I wanted it to have a little bit more, that way when it came in contact with the ground, it would have a nice smooth edge, but, luckily it's such a fine point, it shouldn't really do, it really shouldn't lose a whole lot of stamina. Plus, if it manages to get hit hard enough, power should hit the tornado ridge and help prevent knockouts. And unfortunately, I really don't have the time to do a side angle setup for battles, but that's alright. So we're going to get out our testing bay, Reaper. Now, Reaper should be pretty good at demonstrating this, because Reaper has something similar. If it gets hit from below, it works like a defense type. Gets hit from above, it works like an attack type. Its attack point is high up and should line up with Valkor's attack blades. Reaper's also pretty short. Ooh, look at that! Reaper might be too big to fit in there. That could be a potential issue as well. But it should counter average size bays. Let's give it a quick test launch. A lot of jagged edges on this thing. Alright, well, this bearing is still breaking in too, so let's see how this does. Well, that's obviously not what we're going for here. Look at that! It took that first hit really well. It actually kind of popped it up, but the frame helped catch it. Stamina is the only issue that I worry about here. Ooh. Power did good blocking on the tornado ridge. And its stamina will get better as the bearing in that Mobius breaks in. But stamina is my one concern. Did pretty good. This is dual spin, but for now we're only going to test it in right spin. It's doing a really good job at keeping Reaper stuck in the middle. Not bad. Now let's turn up the attack just a little bit. And we're going to use Soul Reaper, which is using 4 Purge Ultimate Reboot. So we've got more attack power. Did pretty good at deflecting that. Let's see how it does in a stall match. It's kind of shaped like a Duncan butterfly yo-yo. I think this bay is going to be much better suited for duking it out. Not really a good bay for the old hit and run. Was able to destabilize him, and the ultimate reboot kicked in at the exact wrong time. Let's do one stamina match here, and then we'll move on and try some more attack power. Got Greatest Raphael, Hasbro 1B, Revolve Dash. I'm curious because Raphael's ring might pose a problem here. That is not what we want. Mobius is a little tricky. Ooh! See that? It managed to throw Raphael off balance. Let's try that again. Let me a little more tilt to it and see if that fixes our problem here. There we go. Interesting. Nice. Able to steal a spin finish there. Let's do one more battle against Raphael. Nice. It rushed in there and it was actually able to stand Raphael up and get rid of its attack stance. A little bit of orange flaking off there. Ooh! Nice. I was able to break down his attacks really well. Alright. Now, let's try something that has a lot more power. We've got our Siege Excalibur, and I got it on Heavy Extreme Metal. Or Metal Extreme, or whatever it's called. Look at that! Trapped its attacks perfectly. Ooh, that was a miss. That was a mislaunch from Excalibur. We'll use this one to really test it. Oh! Enough of a hit and run to burn stamina. Alright, now let's try it up against something a little more balanced and also taller. So I've got Grand Joker with the rubber gun weight on 6 proof wave dash. Let's see what happens here. Flings off the launcher is what happens here. Now we've got attack and stamina. completely shut it down. Alright, let's test. I want to do 2 more battles here. I don't know where my guilty Longinus is, I'm going to be honest. But we're going to use Nightmare. We're going to use this Hasbro Nightmare Longinus. I want to test it up against a left spin. Nice. And keep in mind, guys, this can be reversed and become a left spin. And finally, I want to test it up against the original Valcor, of course. I think it fixes the original's problems pretty darn well. Starting to come down to stamina. Now, Atomic Slingshot might have more stamina than Mobius. Looks like it does. So we lost a little bit of stamina, but you know what? I think we gained everywhere else. Let's try the original one just against Excalibur. My point exactly. It was able to hit it, and because Excalibur is a big hitter, it was lifting off the ground every time. As long as a Bay follows through on the attack at a close range, the power frame seems to prevent it from being lifted off the ground. Now, it's obviously not impossible to get this Bay off the ground, but I believe I have made on paper what is a perfect defense type. Because, well, never had a burst, never had a knockout. And we threw some pretty heavy attacks at it. But I suppose there's one more Bay that we can throw at it. Freight Train. And this is Freight Train, 0 dagger charge. This is going to be our last test. Just because I really want to test its defensive capabilities. Super heavy attack type, and it's holding it down in the center. Freight Train's always been really good at doing that, and I don't know why. I don't know why Freight Train is being so docile. Yeah, there you have it, guys. I think I've done it. I'm a genius. Look at me. Love me. That was really fun, guys. I really enjoyed making this Bay. Valcor is always a Bay that I've liked. It's never had the greatest parts. It's never been a huge front runner, but it's always been something that I've really enjoyed using. It's been a lot of fun to use. Over the years since I've made Valcor, I have had a ton of fun with it. So I've wanted to upgrade Valcor for a while, but I was never quite sure how I wanted to do it. And I remembered years and years ago, someone made a frame kind of like this that was reversible, but it was a lot lower. And I was thinking, well, because I originally made Valcor with this idea in mind, but I didn't have the skills to model it at the time, and I also didn't have the correct idea. I then came up with North Cross. North Cross was a really good adaptation of this on a small scale. However, once again, big power punches could knock it back. It couldn't truly trap the opponent. It was good against balance types, like slow moving balance types, something on like Fusion or Excel, or even your your stamina based balance types. If you're using something like Claw or whatever your poison may be, it could only trap small attacks. The rest of the time, it was really no different than a normal defense type. But I believe I even forgot to mention the name, which is Full Counter Valcor. And I think it lives up to its name pretty darn well, because there was not a single attack there that really overwhelmed it. And I think Full Counter Valcor did a really good job. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Very nice finish on it. Took some really good attacks. Its burst resistancy is really... It's kind of middle of the road, honestly. If I'm 100% honest, it's pretty middle of the road. But with how it's designed, it doesn't have a super lot of recoil, and also where you're hitting it really makes a difference. If you hit it in the frame, not really going to do much damage to it, because that's the part that's trying to rotate. Hit it in the layer, well, it's probably just going to bounce out of the way. Definitely not impervious to burst. It's never been. Valcor has never been a super burst-resistant bay. And the original Valcor was super prone to knockouts like crazy, especially from big hitters. This new one seems to have fixed every problem with it, and fundamentally, it shuts down most attacks. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making this. I had a lot of fun testing it. This is the first time I've even used it. Full Counter Valcor turned out exactly how I wanted, and I believe I have truly fully countered just about every attack that could realistically get thrown. I mean, obviously, if you have some crazy, super heavy, unrealistic bay, yeah, you're going to overwhelm it. But pretty much anything in this class, I think it can take it, attack to defense-wise. But yep, that's going to be about it, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the bell notification so you get all my videos, because I upload Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as always, hope this video makes your day just a little bit better. Live life to the max and stay awesome.